Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions, there was a happening related to the guaranteed UR anniversary hatchers in JP. I'm sure most of you have heard of it, and I've had more than a few requests to say something about it. I pulled all of the affected hatchers because that was what I was waiting for, more than a collaboration or a cost 100 unit, but I didn't make a video of the pulls. But here we can look at the pulls that I did with the return Vision Ore. And as that is playing, I can give you some thoughts about the situation. But I'll be pulling mainly for vision cards. Don't need this one. Do want Screaming Muraga. Odin I would like. Shiva I would like. Siren I would like, because I want her fire resistance. And Black Rose I want. Demon Wall not available. This Horn card, definitely want that. This one's very defensive, but I don't think I want it. Diablos I want. Not available. I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. Raimu I do want. Titan definitely want. This one I'm not dying for. Golem not dying for. Not available. I'll take it. I'll take it. Leviathan is maybe it's the resistance card. It'll give you 20 pierce resistance. But I don't like it as much as the other resistance cards because since it is attached to an Esper, the cost will be double in the mock shop. And then this Lucia card, I'll take that. Aigion, don't really need. And that's it, okay. Alright, but anyway, let's talk about the happening. I'm not 100% on how, table gachas work, or conveyor belt gachas, or how long this game has used them, or how normal this is. Umbra Rays has a better explanation of the details. The important thing ultimately, though, is the perception. JP players felt deceived that the list of percentages available to look at in the game was not an accurate portrayal of what they were pulling, so there was a big outcry. And then either the outcry was big enough or the problem was real enough that the company acted by taking down the banners, returning Vision Ore to those who spent there, and re-releasing the banners. If there were some good explanation for why this happened, I'm sure the company would have said so by now. There is no good explanation is my guess, at least not one that doesn't embarrass the company. So there probably never will be an explanation. This is not great for the trust between the players and the company. And players are scared to pull the gacha now, which I think they're justified in feeling. And it's kind of bled over into the global fan base as well. Maybe they don't have as much confidence that the hatchers that they're pulling are fair to everyone. But at least in JP with this particular hatcher, because the Vision Ore has been returned, that's kind of the end of that. Oh, and then here in this 10-shot you can re-roll it. I'm tempted by the Super Stern and the Ramu, but I don't really want anything else, so I think I am going to re-roll this. But yeah, the damage to the trust between the company and players remains, because you can't paper over that problem with currency. Again, trust is lost in the rates of the hatchers, and so the company now needs to be crystal clear about everything, and they need to make sure that hatchers are given out what is advertised to everybody. How does Square and Gumi explain it so that people are, have their faith restored? I don't know, that's going to be pretty tough to do. But, if they're on good behavior for 3 or 6 or 12 months, then maybe players can get back to trusting them again. I see a lot of players giving the benefit of the doubt to the company, and I have to remember that for a lot of people this is their first gacha game, or this is their first Gumi gacha game. But for players familiar with Gumi, or like Bandai Namco when producer Hirono was with them, BS like this, where you can't tell if it's incompetence or malice, is old hat. This was a pretty good 10-shot. I got 2 new characters. I'm probably not going to level either of them, but I like just having them in my box so I can check their stats or resistances anytime that I like. I give out lots of advice for how to think about this game that promotes kind of a healthy, moderate outlook. And one of the pieces of advice I give most often is, don't compare this game to other games, not even by the same company. I'm trying to follow my own advice here. This is really the first major screw-up of War of the Visions, so it should be easier to forgive, but it's tough as a longtime Gumi and Hirono watcher to not be like, there they go again. Oh, we got the horn card there, that's good. Okay, here I'll start pulling the hatchers that were pulled and then re-released. These are all UR 5 or 10 URs per 10 shot, and some of them give just shards, some will give the actual vision cards. And I did say this before, but I almost didn't install because I was so sour on Brave Exvius. But I came into War of the Visions with an open mind and I was really impressed. 4 things that I look for in mobile games are good communication, frequent updates, generous rewards, and fast bug fixes. And War of the Visions had all of that in excess. I was amazed. I was like, what's going on here? And the performance was so different from Brave Exvius that I was convinced that really this is a Square game, and Gumi is just doing the grunt work of like programming and stuff. They're not making any decisions. There were some bumps here and there, like boneheaded decisions to offer select tickets for limited time units when the event was nearly over, or poorly designed limited time guild battles, but neither of those things were serious problems. A hatcher system that does not work as advertised and furthermore is not equally fair to everyone is a serious problem. Strong trust in a game can make it easier or even enjoyable to spend in it, but lack of trust in a game can make you feel like a sap for spending. Square and Gumi, you need to make your users feel special and respected. That's really tough to do while you're taking their money, but that's what being a good salesperson is all about. And then the messaging that you do to clean up this mess will be as important as anything else that happens. Again, it's the perception that matters. There's some wording that they're doing in like the announcements for JP where they're saying it was like a bug or like a mistake. Fuguai, that's the word that they're using. When like, you know, setting up the table or the conveyor belt or whatever, it's not something that happens by accident. So they're choosing the wrong wording. They're choosing like something that takes the blame off of themselves, and they're blaming it like on the wind or something. And then I also didn't like that in the announcement for the return of those guaranteed hatchers, they highlighted in yellow, like be sure to read the rates before you pull so that you know what you're getting. That wouldn't have helped in the situation that came up before. So I'm not liking the tone that the company's taking. But yeah, it can't get to a point where it feels like it is users versus the company. That is death for a game. Some folks have been asking me how I feel personally about this as a whale. And I feel like maybe people are anticipating that I'm going to give advice to like be angry or stop spending or uninstall or something. And I don't think I'm a great person to make that call. I mean, like, everybody should search their own feelings to find out how they really feel about this. And that's actually harder to do than you might think sometimes. But you got to look at, like, you know, how much trust do you have left for this company? What's your budget look like? You know, how much can you afford? It's also a thing about time, like how much time can you give this? How does it impact your real life? But just to give my own personal take, I'm probably less angry than a lot of players, but it's because the way that I play and think about mobile games kind of insulates me, even from like major quakes like this. And that's on purpose. Another thing that I say a lot is that there's a way to be good at gacha games that has nothing to do with beating content or getting high rankings. It's about managing your own expectations and urges. And I try to be zen about which units I get and use, never getting too fixated on any one thing. And that is why even if my pool of available units and cards were limited on those guaranteed UR banners, because I see the potential use in all URs, I still came out of those polls really happy. And so actually I feel guilty about having all this vision ore because I was really happy with the results in the beginning. But if it's any consolation, I blew a lot of that vision ore in extending the meteor in the barracks, so now I can do up to 9 hours at a time. Alright, so here, we're looking at all of my Mog medals, so I can get like, what, 50, 100 shards here? So I'm just looking at my options. And then we can head to the vision card screen and start awakening some stuff. And I fully awakened some cards, so that's very cool. Let's do that now. But even though I'm not as angry as some people about the results, I still feel very strongly that the company effed up and they need to work to regain trust. I do not forgive them yet. And compensation will not regain trust. Clear communication and banners that give what they advertise will regain our trust. And again, from a personal point of view, will this revelation change my spending habits away from my current kind of slow downward trajectory? I don't think so, because my focus is on vision cards. I'm not going to spend anything on new units because now with EX jobs I have plenty of work ahead of me there. If and when Christmas and Tactics come back, I will work to finish off Christmas Mashiri and Agrius, which are units that I already have, and so I can just focus on shards from the shop. And that'll be it for me for limited units. I said before that collaboration units with like unique kits would interest me, but now with EX jobs and now with the iffiness of the Hatcher, I think that's gone. No more limited units for me. But again, I don't think I'm a great person to recommend users how to play or spend going forward. I think you should, investigate how you feel and then go with what works for you. But what I can do is recommend that you play like me. Be very zen, just use what comes to you. Don't get hung up on any one thing. I saw people over the weekends doing like 200, 300 pulls for a Bahamut, and I was like, thank you for supporting the game, but what are you doing to yourself? But yeah, if you can reach that plateau where you have like 80% of what you need in the game, and you can scale back on unit pulling, you can scale back on vision cards, that's a good place to be. And then even if something like this happening comes up, you can get through it pretty smoothly. Alright, but I am awakening all of these cards. Unfortunately, I don't have any more growth eggs to level them, so I will be grinding that mission every day. I'll be buying what I can from the Whimsy shops. And then this Pierce card, I might want to maybe use the rest of my Vision Ore on buying shards for this. For my account, it'll only really be good for Gurasura and Christmas Mashiri, and maybe Eileen if I feel like using her. But that Area of Effect defense break, that's pretty great, that's skill. Again, I like Slayers or Penetration or Defense breaks or Spirit breaks for my attackers, and that can go on any of Spear users. That's pretty cool. Okay, Black Rose, I can get that to 99, that's really great. So I don't miss not getting the Scion Vision card anymore. Here's that horn thing, that's very close to fully awakened. But yeah, that was a crazy improvement to my Vision card box. And then if you think about it, I did all of those pulls the first time when that came around. And so I've had that major jump twice since the last few days. But yeah, when the first anniversary comes close to global, you might want to save up a bunch of vision ores so that you can pull in those, get a lot of URs, and then get a jump to your account. And then hopefully they'll have fixed like the rates and like the tables or conveyor belts or whatever it is. All right, so that's my take. You can feel free to leave questions in the comments, but I will not answer them. You can feel free to talk amongst yourselves. Everything I wanted to say I put in this video here, so yeah. Alrighty, thanks for watching and we'll see you again. Take care.